The Joe Rogan Experience.
Did you see that lady who got into it with Trump?
No.
This reporter, first of all, she was asking a question with a mask on, which is like, settle down. That's so crazy.
Everybody there had to have a mask on.
But he didn't have a mask on.
He's the only
And she
one
took
that
it
didn't.
off when she got mad.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, play it. Play the video.
Everybody there had one on.
She took it off when she got mad.
So
this is
in the
what
White House?
happened. She was saying, why are you bragging about how many Americans have been tested and that the United States tests more people than anybody?
Right.
When 80,000 people have died. Like, why is this a competition for you?
Uh-huh.
And so he says, he said that you should ask China. He said people are dying everywhere. If you want to ask someone about that, you should ask China.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, why did you say that specifically to me? Because she's Asian.
Oh.
So, and then he goes, thank you, next question, to someone else. And then this lady steps in, and she was like, I have a question. She was like, and then she wanted to let her talk. Was going to give her question to that lady. So she'd ask again. This is something that reporters are doing now.
Right.
It's adorable. The president says, next person. And he goes, sir? He goes, yes, you. He goes, I'd like to give my colleague this question. And then they give it back to her. So the reporters are forcing him to ask questions in a really sneaky way. And it seems like they're all in on it.
Such a
when
shit show.
one of them has like some sort of a contentious exchange with the president, and the president says, next. So they say, sir, over here. He goes, you. And he goes, I'd like to give this question to my colleague.
I'm giving it back to Bob.
It's some crazy keep away game they're playing.
Oh, man.
And he goes, and she goes, why are you saying that specifically to me? Because she's Asian. And he goes, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm just saying you should ask China.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. Like, watch this.
The U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here goes. Watch when she gets mad.
Sir, why are you
Mask
saying
off.
that to me specifically?
I'm
That I
telling
should
you,
ask
I'm not
China?
saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like
not
that.
a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why does it matter? when
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back,
Watch.
please.
I have two questions.
No, it's okay.
But
We'll
you
go over
pointed
here.
to me. I have two questions, Mr.
Next,
President.
next, please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the
wanted
young
to,
lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague
Okay.
finish. But can I ask you a
Ladies and
question?
gentlemen,
I
thank
just
you
want to
very
let my
much.
colleague
Appreciate
finish.
it.
You see,
Thank you
they
very
know
much.
how to do this. They have this little sneaky move. They've done it before. It's been pretty interesting. They've come up with ways to deal with.
To get around the angry substitute teacher.
It's so strange. It's so strange to see a guy who's the president, regardless of whether or not you think he's handling anything well. It's so strange to see that. Like that's such. He's supposed to be the media guy, right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the guy that's like
Savvy.
the savvy
Right.
television performer guy,
Right.
And to handle that poorly.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand why it would take so little for him to have his numbers would be through the roof.
But this is what happens. They're playing a game, right? And they just won that hand
Right.
because the game is talk condescending to you.
Right.
Like, why is it a competition to you when all these people are dying?
Right.
And he said people are dying all over the world. If you want to know why, you should ask China. That's a good answer.
It is.
To a question that's a gotcha question, but then she makes it racial.
I know.
Because it wasn't
He
necessarily
did
racial.
come in with a hard cha.
He did China, but he does that.
China.
But that's still not racist.
I know, but
So if he was talking to a white man,
Yeah.
and the white man said that to him, and he said, you should ask China,
Sure.
he would say the same thing.
yes.
It's just the worst case scenario that question gets asked by a lady with a mask on who's
Right.
Asian.
China.
And then she gets mad and she takes the mask off. Let motherfuckers know she's not even playing by the rules anymore.
Yeah.
Are you racist?
You know, it is a beehive of an environment there. It is
It
not
is, but it's
handled.
also, I don't know if that's helping anybody, like
No.
to chastise him
Well,
and to get him riled up. And I don't think it's helping anybody the way he's biting.
No. This, I mean, it's a complete breakdown of what that
That used to be. Yeah. It's
No,
not what it used to be. It's
100%.
like this weird gotcha competition, and then him getting pissy.
Yeah.
And him the fact that he stormed off like that.
It's a TV show. We're watching a TV show. We're not watching the adult telling us if it's going to be okay.
You're so right. And during a pandemic, that is the worst time for some shit like that.
It's the worst. You just want some consolidation of real information. Just tell me how to feel.
Dude, I remember after 9/11, people hated Bush. They thought he was really dumb and he couldn't spell.
Yeah.
And then, that was Dan Quayle. But that was his insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
Dan Quayle was so
No,
boring.
but
Like,
people
nobody-
hated Bush going into
They
that.
hated him.
Hated him.
But then after 9/11, he had some speeches that made even people that I knew that were hardcore liberals like,
Yep.
all right, I love this guy. I love what
it's
he's
a
doing.
moment when you rally.
Yeah, but he really rose to the occasion, too.
Yeah.
George Bush, after 9/11, he gave people a sense of comfort.
That's right. That's
He
what
really
you want.
did.
You see people craving it. We're craving
Yes.
it. That's why when Cuomo and Newsom speak and they just give you reassuring,
Yeah.
very, very controlled. This isn't people gravitate. You're just like, okay, you just want to hear that. You just want to. Giuliani was the same way after
Right.
9/11. It was like, okay, you're making me feel better.
That made Giuliani's reputation the way he handled
100%.
it, like a leader.
100%.
Yeah, it's
You don't pit people against each other in a tragedy.
But it's unfortunate that he can't see that, and he keeps getting caught. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like he's boxing with someone who's piecing him up. Like
Yeah.
these things keep happening, so he keeps having these exchanges where there's like heated exchanges and words get said, and
It's bizarre.
well,
it's
the
really
last one
strange.
was the one where he went off the fucking script, where he's talking about therapies.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get some disinfection that kills it in a minute.
And
we'll
the
put it in
light.
there. A cleansing.
You see the woman next to her, just
yeah.
like her eyes coming out of her head. She's taking deep breaths so she doesn't pass out in the middle of it. She was like, holy
So
fuck.
then after that, he responds that, he was sarcastic.
Yeah.
The reporters asked him, he said he was sarcastic. Like, he should have said, look, I'm not a doctor. This is just an idea, because that's really what it was. It was like, I might have done that on a podcast. If I'd have to be drunk.
You'd have to be
Just
drunk.
say you gotta
You
get
would have to be
Lysol
out
in
of your
somebody's
mind.
body.
I've never seen you smoke that much weed.
I can get there. If you leave me alone long enough. I'll say something that dumb. I've said the dumbest shit of my life on this podcast. Hi.
Not that high.
But here's the thing: what came out of it, which is really fascinating.
Yeah.
There was an actual publicly traded biotech company that came up with an idea to get, when in intubated people, to get a ultraviolet light tube down through that into the lungs and illuminate, because using ultraviolet light you can kill bacteria,
Right.
you can kill viruses, and that's one of the reasons why they have those things like SteriPens, where you go backpacking, you can get some water out of a creek and you just use this ultraviolet light. It kills everything inside that water.
Right.
So they actually had this bio company, publicly traded company, put out this video on how this can be done. Well, their account was banned from Twitter.
Oh, really?
Because
Is it a real company?
Yes, it's a real company. And they let him back eventually.
Yeah.
But this is how toxic this relationship with the
Right.
president is.
Right.
Where the president says something on TV,
Yeah.
and then people go, what the fuck did you just say? Get light into people? And then this publicly traded biotech company is like, actually, we've already been working on that. And this is the concept. And this is the science behind it, because UV light kills fuck you, you're banned. They banned them. They banned a biotech company from Twitter. Now, they brought them back once it was explained to them.
Yeah.
But any other time in history, like say if this was going on,
Right.
10 years ago, and there was a virus, and the virus is infecting people's respiratory
Yeah.
systems, and someone said, while these people are being intubated, we can actually stick a light through the same tube that the ventilator uses, and will illuminate the lungs. We could actually probably kill a good deal of this bacteria. People are like, oh, medical breakthrough.
Right.
And this-
yeah.
this
But you've
day
had
and
a
age-
complete disintegration, right?
Yep.
It's been that's the result of a breakdown, and that's what's been so. That's why it doesn't work in communist countries. Like, you can't trust the source for your information.
Right.
That's what we're at in a democracy, where no one can trust the source. We're all scrambling. Like, does this one know? Does this one know? Does this
But
one
it's
know?
a direct result of his toxic relationship with the press.
Yes.
Because people who are
Yes.
with him are so with him, and people who are against him are so against
Yeah.
him. And it's almost like people are with him. Part of the reason why they're with him is because they're so against all these other fucking whiny, bitchy, liberal people that side's just so annoying.
No,
I'm
it's-
going with Trump. He tells them to fuck off. That's my favorite part.
Right. He makes those people angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Man, it's a terrible relationship.
It's so
It's bad for everybody.
It's awful, because if at any moment we should be uniting and taking care of each other, it's now.